actor, writer, director, quizmaster, and a great dancer. Okay, maybe not that one, but we still love him. Stephen Fry is one of the UK's national treasures, and someone who's an inspiration to us all. Yet his life hasn't always been as cheerful and has been rather difficult at times. He struggled with mental health and became an outspoken advocate for mental health treatment. And there was a time when the public didn't know about his struggles. It started in the 90s when he walked off stage. Join Facts First as we present Stephen Fry opens up about why he disappeared suddenly. Stephen Fry was born August 24, 1957 in Hampstead, London, though he grew up in the countryside in Norfolk. His childhood was one of struggle and curiosity. He developed a love early on for language, reading the works of Oscar Wilde, and later falling in love with the writings of P.J. Wodehouse. Little did he know that he'd portray Wilde in a film one day and depict one of Wodehouse's greatest characters in a TV series. His early life was marked by a combination of intellectual curiosity, academic achievement, and personal struggles, laying the foundation for the multifaceted individual he became. As a young boy, he realized he was gay, at a time when being open about his sexuality was stigmatized and having relations with the same sex was illegal in the UK. He struggled from a lack of self-confidence. At age 13, he was admitted to Uppingham School, a prestigious public boarding school in Rutland. There, he continued to excel academically, but also began to showcase problems with his behavior. Later in his teens, he stole credit cards from a family friend and used it to make a lot of purchases. He was eventually arrested and sent to a borstal. This was a difficult time in his life, and he knew that after finishing school and leaving the borstal, he had to make a huge change. He applied to Cambridge University and eventually studied English there. He also joined the famous Footlights Club, where he got to hone his craft as a writer and performer. It's also where he met his future friends and colleagues, Tony Slattery, Emma Thompson, and of course, Hugh Laurie. He and his friends participated in the Footlights Review show. The show got wider notice, and upon graduation, he and his friends decided to pursue professional careers as writers and performers. Fry and Laurie became a double act and appeared together on many sketch shows and live performances. Their first major success was in the sketch show Saturday Live. Later, they'd have their own show called A Bit of Fry and Laurie. Around this time, Fry became a regular guest on chat shows, making his profile even bigger. Stephen embraced his success and fame early on. It seemed that whether he was being interviewed by Clive Anderson or Clive James, he knew how to entertain an audience and bring them joy. He came off as extremely likable and became a celebrity whom people genuinely cared about and would get concerned about if something happened. Stephen Fry's career. Stephen Fry has had such a prolific and eclectic career, we can only focus on a few highlights. His obsession and passion and pleasure from work has been documented, and later we'll find out this came from a particular ailment. One of his early breakthroughs came with his role as the bumbling and lovable General Melchett in the hit comedy series Blackadder. He played the role in the second season of the show, who was the counsel of Her Majesty the Queen. In one episode of Blackadder III, he played a duke, and this is still regarded as one of his funniest performances. But in Blackadder Goes Forth, he really came into his own, with General Melchett, who could make you laugh from his singing bawdy songs, his large mustache, his outbursts, and the occasional belch. Another highlight of his career was his portrayal of the valet Reginald Jeeves in the television adaptation of P.G. Wodehouse's Jeeves and Wooster stories. He was once again paired with Hugh Laurie, who played Bertie Wooster. The show became such a huge hit, and despite the initial criticism that Stephen Fry was a bit too young to play Jeeves, his performance is now considered a definitive one. Stephen Fry has also written a few screenplays and directed the film Bright Young Things, based on a novel by Evelyn Waugh. He also portrayed Oscar Wilde in the film Wilde, for which he won critical acclaim. He was praised for his role in the comic drama film Peter's Friends. He's also presented several documentaries, including Wagner and Me, Planet Word, and Stephen Fry in America. He also served as the host of the long-running panel show QI, showcasing his immense knowledge and quick thinking. He hosted for several years until he stepped down and Sandy Toksvig took over. He's written several books, including 3 volumes of his autobiography. He also wrote a book about how to write poetry. He's gained prominence in the UK for being the narrator for the original British publication of the Harry Potter books. He also recorded an audiobook of the complete Sherlock Holmes series. According to IMDb, he has 183 credits and 12 upcoming projects. There's still so much more of Stephen Fry we'll get to see. Stephen Fry opens up about why he disappeared suddenly. His battle with mental health has become a well-documented aspect of his life. He's now very open about his struggles with manic depression and how this has affected his personal life and professional life. While we all know this aspect of his life, it came as a surprise to everyone in the 90s. And for that, we'll take you to the West End in 95. He had appeared in a play called Cellmates. He and his co-star and frequent collaborator Rick Mayall had to appear in the play on several nights. This particular play hadn't gotten too many good reviews, and it seemed it would be a flop. It also seemed this lack of success was affecting his mental state. On one fateful night, Stephen Fry walked off stage during a performance and disappeared for a few days. No one knew where he was, including his family and best friend Hugh Laurie. We must remember this was the 90s, so there wasn't any internet access and a human being could disappear much easier. And he wasn't too well known outside of the Anglosphere, so he could disappear if he went to another country, which is precisely what he did. He had fled to Belgium and he spent a few days there. He even stated he once thought he'd start a new life there, but he was spotted by some British tourists who informed the press. After days of endless media speculation, Fry's whereabouts had been disclosed and he soon returned to the UK. He soon opened up about why he disappeared suddenly. He felt depressed during the play and all of a sudden he couldn't take it anymore. He went to his car and turned on the gas. He sat in the car as the engine ran and his intentions were to take his own life. But he stopped himself and then decided to just disappear from the UK. After seeking medical help, he was diagnosed with manic depression. It's something he struggled with his entire life. It's what has given him his incredible work ethic and passion for his career, but it's also what has sometimes hurt his self-confidence and made his mood sour. But his openness about his depression has also benefited a wider audience. In his 2-part documentary film, The Secret Life of the Manic Depressive, he discussed his own experiences with the illness and interviewed others who have grappled with the same illness. The films brought a wider attention towards this illness, not often discussed in British society. Fry has been credited with opening up a discussion about mental health in the UK. He's received praise from many of his colleagues and admirers as a result, including now King Charles. Stephen Fry's life has been a roller coaster. It hasn't always been easy, and his vulnerability shows there's a personality behind the characters who doesn't always feel his best. But his openness is also part of his charm. He's lived a full life and has so much more to give us, and for that we can only be grateful. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Stephen Fry? Let us know in the comments section below.